Good morning, everyone. Today is actually Tuesday, and we are back in the barn. Yesterday we had a busy morning, and I just knew I was like, well, not gonna be able to film today, because I had to milk so fast. We had dentist appointments so myself and the kids had dentist appointments at 8 o'clock in a town it's about 20 minutes away was the dentist. Um, but then so it's four of us getting just cleaning. Then we had chiropractor appointments at 9:10 in a town 25 minutes from where the dentist was. And I was like, can we do it? Can we make it? And I was prepared to, I knew that I could call in advance if I knew we weren't going to make it, but we did. We got all of our teeth cleaned. Well, I mean, so we split up. The boys go to one hygienist, and then Loretta and I go to another, and they do a great job. But yeah, and then we got out of there, and we got to our chiropractor appointment on time. Like, actually, with a few minutes to spare. It was insane. I was like, "Thank you, Lord." That was definitely one of those God rewrote a time for me type of thing because I needed to go to the chiropractor so bad. We are very blessed that our insurance covers it, so we go regularly. Twice, myself and one of my children goes twice a month, and then the other two go once a month. Um, but oh man, I've been really really hurting lately, mainly because of milking. I actually don't have the stool that I normally sit in, and I'm currently figuring out. I have a chair to cut the legs off a little bit more on and hopefully have a little more comfortable stool. What would be ideal is if I could get her up like 3 inches, like on a stand. Um, that would be fabulous. But I don't think that's going to happen. My poor husband is so busy as it is. The last thing he needs to do is actually build me a milking stand. So that's all right. I will do my best. But until then, I'm going to have to be seeing the chiropractor regularly, which I already do. And, or I should say, until I get the stool situation figured out, I'm just too high. And so, like, the bending over is really hurting my lower back a lot. And I try to, like, remember as I'm milking to, like, sit straight, like, adjust my shoulders and all that stuff. But I'm not always good about that. Anyway, so until then, keep up with my chiropractor appointments, and I have to probably start seeing a massage therapist more regularly. My shoulders get really bad, really bad. Yay, farm life. That's all right. That's mainly from pitching hay to the animals. Okay, enough about me. That's why we didn't have a video, because I was like, there's no way. So, anyways, what else is new on the farm besides apple? So we are a month off after calving, and everything's going great. We're getting about 2.5 gallons of milk a day, which is less than I really want. I would prefer a 3, but we're working on it, trying to figure out the sweet spot to increase her a little bit. I swear, as soon as I increase her, he just starts taking more. So that's the problem with the bull calf. They seem to be gluttons more than heifers. That's all right. We'll get it figured out. No big deal. And the steers in here. The other cows are in here. They don't really care for the new hay that we got. So then they come in here and they're like, "Hey, you got better hay in here?" Jokes on them. We have 30 bales of it. This is all they get for like months. Oh well, they'll get used to it. It's not bad. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just different, and I think they just have to get used to it. Something in my eye today. Okay. So it is November, and yeah, things are winding down. Of course, we're getting ready for winter. We have all the wood we need. hopefully, all cut and stacked and everything like that. We have all the hay we need. We are still working on the gardens, getting those completely taken care of. We have our like salad garden, our greens garden that still has hoops and plastic on it, and so I still have some stuff growing in there, which I really probably will get it all out this week. And that was kind of an experiment. I'm not sure that it worked. Hold on a minute. One thing I'm definitely going to do different in that garden is get some more drip tape or soaker hose in there, and I think that will be really good on the beds. Okay, move your leg, Apple. No, move it back. Thank you. Anyway, so I have that. I still have tons of Brussels sprouts out in the garden, which isn't a big deal. Those can last for a little while longer. So I'm just taking care of the things that need to come out now that can't really stand too many more frosts. We've had beautiful weather, and that has helped extend the season. But we're getting to the point where, well, for one, like I kind of need to be done. This has been a long season, and I'm ready to be done. But it's also going to get to the point where we're going to have more and more freezing nights, and things just aren't going to last anymore. So I have carrots and beets still in the garden. Oh, you are uphill today. I have, she wants grain, but I am not at the point yet to give it to her. She's going to have to wait. Sometimes when she's just crabby, I have to adjust the gate and kind of pinch her a little bit more in here so she can't move as much. It's not ideal, but I think I'm going too slow for her today. She's also adjusting the time changing. See? So, luckily, I know the signs. I can get the bucket under her. That's her way of really telling me she's not happy. She pees when she's not happy. She's annoyed with me. She's annoyed at him, at the bull. All right. Okay, let's try this again, Apple. Come on. I know, you're annoyed. I might have to adjust everything. Well, this is going to be a fun video, isn't it? Okay, we're moving over. Okay. I don't think she cares for this hay either, which I'm like, oh, it's kind of a fear of mine that we buy so much and they don't really like it. And that happens. We've definitely had hay in the past where they didn't like, and you just have to deal with it. Like I said, it's not bad. It's actually a decent quality hay. But it's only grass hay, and they've been used to a mix, which the mix is really good. So we might have to get some of that. I hate to spend more money on hay, but we'll see. Given we just opened up this new bale, they're just starting it, so yeah, they need to have a little bit of time to get used to this. Adjust yourself, Melissa. Fix your posture. Remind me as I go. Fix your posture. Anyway, so what else? The garden. That's what we're talking about. So this weekend, mind you, it is November. I picked the last of the tomatoes this weekend. It is November. Oh my goodness. And I picked a lot. I'll put in a picture if I remember while I'm editing. a lot of the last of the tomatoes. So I don't remember. Gosh, now we're moving again. Some days it does not happen often. Really, really, truly doesn't. But some days we get like this. Um, so a few weeks ago, I think I said this in the last video. I don't remember. I don't know. The grapes, cheapers. The tomatoes were doing excellent, really green, growing great, while everyone else's had already died. It was October. But we ended up with some really cold weather and really windy weather. And I think what happened is, well, it got below the temperature that prevents the greenhouse from freezing. And, like what the plastic helps, I think, increase it like 5 degrees or something like that, every layer of cracked plastic. And it was so windy. And one side, the backside, what would it be? It's kind of like west facing. Yeah, I think it's the west facing side. Ish. It had the door. It's got a big. It's not tight seal. And the people that we got it from before had some rubber like matting up on it, and Mike had taken it off over the summer to allow for air movement. And yeah, we should have put it back on. Okay, hold that thought. Anyway, it got, long story short, the vines froze at one point. But yeah, that was disappointing. But it wasn't all for naught, because even if you're like tomatoes in general in your garden, if there's a frost coming, you can pull them out and you can hang them upside down in your garage, and they will continue to ripen. The tomatoes will. The green, or obviously the green ones on the tomato on the vine will continue to ripen. So we knew that they would just continue to ripen, the ones that were left, and they did. So it's been a couple weeks. Had some hot weather. That greenhouse got really hot too again, and finally I was like, okay, we had some more really cold weather coming in overnights, and it's like, all right, we got to get this out of here because I don't want to lose anymore, because we did lose some. I mean, quite a small amount of tomatoes to frost. The ones on that side mainly, the side that's colder. Anyway, so I picked, I don't even know, well over 100 pounds of tomatoes. So those I have to get canned up. I'm gonna finish. I didn't make any pizza sauce yet, so I'm gonna make pizza sauce. My trick is, so we are a family that we love pizza. We make homemade pizza with great mozzarella cheese and homemade pizza sauce, and the crust that I grind our own grain. I think I've talked about that, and it's so good. But we are, maybe it's me, but don't love a lot of pizza sauce. Some people are like, give all the pizza sauce. I want to, douse it, but not me. I like it, but I don't want a lot. So I find that using the 8-ounce jelly jars works great. I can make 2 pizzas, or like large pizzas, with 8-ounce jelly jars with homemade sauce. It's strong enough, you can taste it, but it's not too overpowering. But then I also do a bunch in pints, or even in the bigger 12-ounce jelly jars, because we don't always only make 2 pizzas, 2 large pizzas, because it is homemade with this, nice dense, like dense, that's not the word, that doesn't sound good, filling, real whole wheat crust. It fills you up really well. And of course we have sides and stuff like that. So 2 pizzas for our family right now still works, large ones. Anyway, but we also, like, deer season is coming up here. And on Saturday of deer season at deer camp, which is my parents' house, I make pizzas. It's our tradition. Everyone loves my pizza. So the there's definitely times where I make pizza for more than just our family or whatever. So I also do some in pints. So I have to make pizza sauce, and I'm gonna make some more just diced tomatoes, I believe. I think that's all I'm gonna do. Because this weekend I also, let's see, what else do we do in the garden? Oh, we finished digging up potatoes. I tell you what, I had the best year I have ever had with potatoes. And you want to know my secret? Don't cut your seed potatoes. Just plant them whole. Plant it. I was always taught, my grandpa was a really big gardener. My dad was a big gardener. They always cut the potato, which makes sense. You cut it, and then you make sure you have a couple eyes on each cut, and then you're going to get a plant from each. So it kind of extends it. Well, for one, sweet potatoes are super cheap, right? And so I had learned, I think it was from MI Gardener. That's a really good gardening channel on YouTube. That he just put the entire potato in 1 year, and he noticed a huge difference. So I'm like, let's try it. So I did. Oh my goodness. I have red potatoes, that are this big. I have never had such good potatoes. And now I wish I could, oh no, low power. Okay. I think it'll still go. I wish I could tell you what I had planted in that area the year before, like the rotation, but I can't remember. Anyway, potatoes, great. So we got those all dug up this weekend. We got all the stuff taken down from the farm stand. The farm stand did not do as good this year. I think everyone and their brother grew pumpkins, and we didn't sell very much. It's fine. We sold a lot of plants in the spring, so that's all right. It's no big deal. So we got all the pumpkins and squash and everything. The animals will eat them and nothing will go to waste. No big deal. And then I have to pick all the Swiss chard and kale that is left. I tell you what, I've picked a ridiculous amount of Swiss chard and kale this year. Just ridiculous. And there's still tons out there. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to dehydrate it and make it into a powder. And then you can add that powder to soups and casseroles, anything you want to, like a boost of greens, health benefits, What else? Like I said, I have Brussels sprouts, carrots, and beets still out there. Beets are probably going to be the next that we'll have to, of that group, will have to be the next that need to come up. And what else? Carrots can stay out there for a while. In fact, I could mulch them and have them out there all the winter if I wanted to. And Brussels sprouts. So, this weekend I was like really feeling it was a really rainy, cold weekend. So I was like wanting to be in the kitchen. So I cleaned out our freezers because it is deer season. My husband's already our son got his first, our middle son got his first deer, which is a buck. He had quite a nice little buck for his first deer. And then my husband got a really, really big doe already, but we're hoping to get a couple more. Anyway, so I was like, I got to make sure the freezers are all good. And I pulled out a ton of chicken carcasses that need to be made into broth. When I make a chicken, I usually just throw it in the freezer if I'm not going to make the broth right away. And I actually had an entire turkey carcass forgot about from last year. It was still really good. And I made 20 quarts and 10 pints of stock. It was crazy. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've been canning like crazy. And I'm like, oh my goodness, it's November. Like part of me is like, yeah, this is awesome. I'm still canning. And part of me is like, oh my goodness, enough. I want to be done. We still have homeschool and everything like that we're doing. We're busy. We're doing lots of field trips and stuff. So it's been a really good year. So that is life on the homestead right now. Just still wrapping up the winter or fall harvest. Getting everything ready for winter because that's just, it's got to happen. Winter is coming, whether we like it or not. I really, really do. Fingers crossed. I hope for a snow-filled winter. As much as that sounds crazy, because it'll be a lot of work, we really need it. Our ground really needs that moisture. So fingers crossed. I don't want a cold winter. I don't want the cold, like super cold, but I want snow. So let's all cross our fingers that in Wisconsin we get a good normal amount of snow, not these skimpy snow years like we've had. So, all right, that is what I'm going to talk about today, and I will see you guys in the next video. And you have a wonderful, blessed week. Until next time, so long.